So back in April, Etihad Airways announced 6 new African cities they are flying to: Accra, Asmara, Harare, Kinshasa, Lubumbashi, and Lagos. 5 of those 6 get 3 or 4 flights a week. Lagos gets a flight every single day. That's not a rounding error. That's a decision. And today I want to talk about why. Because this isn't really a story about one new route. It's a story about a Gulf airline quietly building a network across an entire continent, and Lagos just told you exactly where it thinks the money is. I'm Oluwaseun. This is License to Trail, and let's get into it. Here is the thing about aviation news. Most channels will cover this as airline adds new routes. Slap a title on it, move on. I want to show you why that's the wrong way to read it. This April announcement wasn't a one-off. It's the third or fourth piece of the same puzzle in under 2 years. March 2025, Etihad signs a joint venture with Ethiopian Airlines, code share, shared routes, the works. 2025 through now, Etihad has been on an expansion tear. Over 30 new destinations announced this year alone, with an ambition to hit 125 destinations by 2030. April 2026, 6 new African cities announced in one go, their biggest single Africa expansion ever. Last month, July 2026, interline deals signed with Air Peace in Nigeria and Africa World Airlines in Ghana, on top of an existing fast jet deal in Zimbabwe. Now, this next part is my read on it, not a confirmed Etihad strategy document. 4 separate announcements, same continent, same underlying idea. Abu Dhabi wants to be the door Africa walks through to get to Asia, and vice versa. That's not luck. That's a strategy playing out one press release at a time. So why does Lagos get the daily flight when Accra, Harare, Kinshasa, and the others don't? A few reasons, and I'll give you the honest ones, not just the press release version. 1. Nigeria is simply the biggest prize. Nigeria's aviation market has been growing faster than almost anywhere else on the continent. More routes, more airlines expanding, more demand than there is currently capacity for. 2. The money relationship already exists. The UAE and Nigeria signed a broader economic partnership agreement, the CEPA, back in January 2026. Etihad's route decisions aren't happening in a vacuum. They are riding on top of a bigger trade relationship between the two countries. 3. And this is the part that actually matters to you and me as passengers. Etihad didn't just add Lagos, they partnered with Air Peace. In July, Etihad signed an interline agreement with Air Peace that opens up 20 destinations across Nigeria, West and Central Africa to Etihad's passengers. So it's not just fly Abu Dhabi to Lagos. It's fly Abu Dhabi to Lagos, then connect onward to another 20 cities across the region on one ticket. That's the real play. Lagos isn't the destination. Lagos is the door to everywhere else. Here's my honest opinion on it, and honestly, that's smart. If I'm Etihad, I don't just want one city in West Africa. I want the hub that unlocks the whole region. Lagos does that better than Accra or Harare ever could. Now, I said at the start of this channel, I'll tell you when something is overrated. And I'm not about to break that rule just because this is a good news story for Nigeria. A few honest wrinkles here. Air Peace, the airline Etihad just partnered with, has had a rough few months operationally. Fuel supply constraints earlier this year forced them to cut some international routes down to a few flights a week instead of daily. And there have been ground handling incidents at Lagos Airport, damaging aircraft, not once, but at least twice in recent months. None of that is Etihad's fault, and none of it necessarily affects the new Abu Dhabi-Lagos route specifically. But if you're a passenger thinking, great, more options through Air Peace's network, it's fair to go in with eyes open. A big international partnership doesn't automatically fix ground-level operational issues. This next bit is just me speculating, not confirmed. My honest read, this partnership actually puts a bit of healthy pressure on Air Peace and on Lagos Airport ground handling to sharpen up. When you are the local connection for a major Gulf carrier's international guests, The standard has to rise. We will see if it does. So strip away the corporate strategy talk. What does this actually mean if you are someone flying out of Lagos? The resumption of a daily direct flight to Abu Dhabi from March 2027 means more schedule flexibility than you've had with Gulf carriers here before. And because of the Airpeace interline deal, if you are headed somewhere like Port Harcourt or across to Accra or further into Central Africa, you may increasingly be able to book that on a single itinerary through Etihad rather than juggling two separate bookings. It also means more competition on the Lagos Gulf corridor, going up against Emirates and Qatar Airways, which as a passenger is generally good news. More competition usually means better fares and better service, not worse. So, will I actually get to fly this route and give you a real review? Honestly, not yet. No filming gear, no flight budget at this stage of the channel, but it's absolutely on my list for the day this channel can fund that kind of trip. Consider this the watch this space video. So, that's the real story behind 6 new Etihad routes. It's not really about 6 cities, it's about which one city Etihad trusts enough to fly to every single day and why. If you want more of this, the Lagos angle on global aviation stories nobody else is covering from this side of the world, that's exactly what this channel is about. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.